Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show. And I'm going to talk about the trades that I am taking. Got some important updates here, and none more important than, of course, the NVIDIA earnings. Let's start there. And of course, what we have is NVIDIA stock fell heavily 5% after reporting record quarterly revenue. They beat both revenue and EPS expectations, but the stock is down sharply. And that is because Wall Street, well, two things. It was a sell the news event for sure, no doubt, and people locked in profits. But also the feeling was that they should have beaten earnings, should have been even higher. The expectation, the bar is set very high for NVIDIA. But in my opinion, I think it was a lot of profit taking and people were just locking in those gains. And of course, not long after, NVIDIA announces a new 60 billion stock buyback. Absolutely incredible there. Let's have a quick look at the NVIDIA charts. There was certainly a sell the news event. This is what I had warned the day of, that we would likely see a bit of a sell the news event there with NVIDIA, even if they beat earnings expectations. I did expect a little bit more of a pump than we got before a drop off, but really people were very quick to pull the trigger on that. Let's have a quick look here. The 9 EMA on the day. Now, currently in the pre-market, we're below that level. We're at 178.36, and the 9 EMA on the daily is just a smidgen above at 179.65. So if we were to come up to that level, that would be the level that I'd want to see, and that could be an entry. The other entry there is 183, which is this Fibonacci level, which has not been able to get through, but it has banged away a little bit. Of course, just below price, where price is now at 178.30, is the 20 EMA on the daily, 177.82. I want you to take a look and see how this entire run up, I'm not going to go all the way, but once we broke through the 9 EMA, the 9 EMA was a brilliant place to buy or to add to the trade. And then the 20 EMA has been that place that secondarily has acted as support. It went below it and then only spent a couple of days below it, and then it shot back above. So if we were to lose that level there, then we could see a sharp drop back to 169, 168. The 50 EMA on the daily, I believe, will move up to this 169. So this 169 is a key level, and I'll show you why, because on the weekly time frame, that's where it tagged the 9 EMA on the weekly time frame. Now that level is actually at 172, and there is a Fibonacci there at 171 and one at 173. So I would expect here, I'm going to put a line here on the 9 EMA on the weekly, that this could be the level to the downside if we were to see a loss of the the 20 EMA on the daily time frame. Now there is a bull flag on the weekly time frame. We have an enormous pole and there, and then we're starting to get this flagging formation. Of course, the breakout of that is 183. If we were to take it from 183, then we could see some significant upside. Just remember that bull flags, they do play out 65% of the time historically to the upside, but they do have about a 35% failure rate as well. So there's no guarantees there, but it is quite bullish, but it is really overextended there. And I think that's, again, why there was a bit of a sell the news event there. So those are those levels looking to the downside. Again, if we were to lose that 20 EMA, this is a key level to hold. It's currently sitting at 177, about 85 cents there, 177.85, losing that level, and then likelihood of coming down. And look what happened there, 172, which is a Fibonacci, and the 9 EMA on the weekly, and then 169 Fibonacci level there as well. So those are our key levels there for NVIDIA. And of course, if we just continue to the upside and we don't get to buy at these levels, then 183 is going to be a level break and hold that as support for NVIDIA. Okay, so those are the levels I'm looking at for NVIDIA for taking a trade. Let's look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, like the NVIDIA earnings, The earnings came in well, and so Bitcoin decided to jump. And I gave a trade in the Tribal Trades Discord yesterday from around this 110, 111,000 level, and gave the target of the 9 EMA on the daily. And look what happened yet again on the 9 EMA on the daily, and it rejected there. Now, we also had the green dot on the daily with the Tribal Trades indicator. Okay, so some of you may have gotten in already. For those who had the Tribal Trades indicator in the Tribal Trades Discord, may have gotten in a little bit early, front run this trade yesterday. And of course, there is where we are. Now, if you're not in the Bitcoin trade, here is the next trade. A break above the 9 EMA on the data, which is 113,000 to about 275 at the moment. If we were to break above there, then that could be a trade to the upside. Of course, we have some other EMAs there as resistance at 114, and the 50-day moving average, which is a real crucial support to resistance to get above, which is at 116,600. Remember, the Tribal Trades indicator got us out of Bitcoin up at around that 123, 124,000 level, and now it's getting us back in again. And the trade I gave yesterday in the Tribal Trades Discord was around 111,000 there. Okay, and of course, for those of that missed the trade, there is a second bite. Remember, the first entry, the early entry that gets you in early is the Tribal Trades indicator. Now, of course, if we reject here, that could be a place to get out of the trade, might come back, get back in again, and go again. Sometimes we do see that where it comes up, rejects it first, and then eventually breaks through. And that can be your next place to get in the Bitcoin trade. Now, this short to the downside lasted how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 12 days. So that was a nice trade to the downside if you had shorted off the Tribal Trades indicator, and now this run is on day 3, and so we'll see how long that lasts the upside. And look, these indicators on daily time frame, they usually run anywhere between about 3 to 10 days. I find on average about 7 days, of course. So we'll just see how this plays out. And of course, if we don't get any kind of a move to the upside there, a trade can be closed and profit there. But we don't have any reversal signal as yet, so I will keep updating that as we see that price move. Now, Ethereum has been looking really great. And again, we have the 9 EMA on the daily there at 4529. We have the Tribal Trades indicator. Now you might say, okay, wow, okay, the Tribal Trades indicator went off. Now it's already above the 9 EMA. Where do I get in this trade? Okay, that's where I switch to the 1 hour time frame and say, here we go. The 9 EMA on the 1 hour currently sitting at 5,484. Now, if we were to obviously lose that level, then of course, you could jump out of that trade. Maybe the 200 EMA on the 1 hour could be a place to get out, which is where also. So there's an entry there at 4585, and then a stop loss is if we would lose the 9 EMA, which is 4526 there, and because that would be coming back again to this Fibonacci level there. So those are the levels. So there's a trade pretty much right now there for Ethereum on the 9 EMA on the 1 hour with your stop loss on the 9 EM on the daily. And of course, the 9 EMA on the daily, if it was to come back to there and hold, that would be another entry there for Ethereum as well. I want to look at Solana now. Again, this was another one trade that I gave in the Tribal Trades Discord at 201. And that has taken off beautifully. Again, we have the beautiful Tribal Trades entry there on the green arrow. And then, of course, we had a break of the 9 EMA on the daily. We see this so often. The Tribal Trades indicator gets us in early. The second entry for the 9 EMA on the daily. Now, what's the entry? Okay, well, it is at 210. There's a Fibonacci level there that if this was to come back, retest and hold, there could be an entry there. Otherwise, coming back to the 201 or 198 level there for Solana, that would be there. Now, of course, if we don't come back to 210, we're at 212 right now. Again, I flip to the 1 hour time frame on the 9 EMA, and look at what happens when it breaks through, holds, another entry for Solana, another entry for Solana. Okay, goes down, but then the 20 provides support. It dipped over a little bit, but then we get that green dot that gets us back in, and then the 9 EMA. And this is how well the Tribal Trades indicator works so well with the 9 and the 20 and all the 5 EMAs that I have here, the 200, the 100, the 50, the 20, and the 9. And I teach this system in the Tribal Trades Discord. And so there is an entry there at about $211.90 on the 9 EMA on the 1 hour time frame there. However, we do have a red dot. Sometimes that just means, you have an uptrend like this, you can see the red dot. Sometimes that just means coming back to the 9 or coming back to the 20 before going up further. Sometimes it means a more of a move to the downside. So just be careful with that one there. I'm going to give 2 more trades for you very quickly. The next one is Tau here. And Tau, we have 332. We have the green dot on the daily. And if this level is to hold, there can be an entry there. However, there is going to be resistance of the 9. Now, this one could be early. If we start to see a move to the upside because of these green dots going off, 332, and then there could be 343. And of course, if it breaks through 343 and holds, then there could be more of a move to the upside. Tau has been quite bearish, however, so we do need to be careful there. And again, you could pretty much get now on the 9 EMA, almost now on the 9 EMA, which is at 334, pretty much about where price is now, $334, just the 9 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. Just be careful there. Of course, it was to lose that level, then we revert back to 332 there for Tau on that trade. And the last one we'll look here is at SUI, and here is the SUI trade. Again, on the 9 EMA on the 1 hour, is sitting at about $3.49. But we're going to switch to the daily time frame there. And of course, what we have here is the green dot giving us the trade entry. So $3.46. That's where the 100 EMA is on the daily time frame. We already rejected on the 9 EMA. So really, the key is to get in early here at about $3.42. Then if you reject, you can stop out and profit. And it was a good trade. Come back, hit again, and then I like taking it also. Sometimes if you miss the green dot, maybe you're sleeping or whatever, you get that secondary entry off the 9 EMA where if that breaks above, you can get in that play. And then, of course, there is some resistance to the upside there at 359. And then, of course, to 371. And we do have to be cautious because September historically has been bearish. Rectember, is what it has been named. But I want to show you something here. I'm just going to refresh this chart here for the Bitcoin monthly returns here. And of course, what you can see is that, first of all, generally when you see a red August, September ends up being green for the last 2 years anyway, and then 2 more red August, 2 more green Septembers. Look, there was a couple of red Augusts there, and then there were red Septembers there. We've got to keep that in mind. And also, if August does close red, it'll be the first post-halving year in Bitcoin history that we've had a red August. And there's 2021, 2017, 2013 were all green. So that'll be very interesting. But it is also interesting that if we were to put in another red August, that would be 4 red Augusts in a row. And then we've had those 2 green Septembers. And maybe we do finish the month a little bearish. Maybe we do pop up and we close green, and that would be 5 green months in a row. And of course, Bitcoin has never put in 6 green months ever in a row. You can see it's been close on 2 occasions there. It has. And so this will be very interesting. And I believe Bitcoin would need to get above, I think, 115,000. So, if it closes the month 116,000, then we are going to get another green August there. So this is why we trade the trend, because your trend is your friend until the end, until you start a new trend. Okay. And so trading the trend has worked very well for me with Bitcoin, getting out, up, or near, and this is a double top, by the way. So there, and then you have this wick up here. So not only did the Tribal Trades indicator called it, but there was a double top. And so, of course, if you didn't get out there, losing the 9 EMA, 118,000, that would have been your second place to get out. And then you could have bought it back much lower around this 100 EMA on the daily, around 110,000. So those who took the trade yesterday that I gave in the Tribal Trades Discord, and then obviously we've got the 9 EM on the daily that has some resistance there, of course. All right, well, that's all we have time for today. So until I see you in the next episode, or of course, until I see you in the Discord, there is a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button that will pop out, and there is a link there where you can get on the wait list for the Tribal Trades Discord. All right. And until then, happy trading.